I have to say, the theme song is a little bit much for a Monday. DB Frick, it's a little bit much. It's Monday, and the world has been going through hell. Welcome back to the show, man. Always good to talk to you.
Yeah. Always good to be here first thing on a Monday, waking up America.
You know, it's true, man.
That's when everyone gets up now.
It is. I feel like that today. Yesterday, I was like, oh, good. We're going to start reopening and waking up tomorrow. Okay, that's going to be great. It's Sunday. I'll have another shot of Evan Williams, put on another Bogart movie. That sounds great. I'll be there. This morning, I'm like, whoa, hold on. It's Monday. Oh, my God. What did I agree to? Are they opening this crap? Oh, my God. Work, people.
Who was I kidding? Everything by me is open. It seems like everything.
Everything.
You can make appointments with barbers. You see people hanging out in the streets. There are more people hanging out on the streets right now, and I live in the suburbs. They're just hanging out in front of their houses and having people come by and stop by. It's sort of the same thing, but worse.
So beautiful. So beautiful. The human animal cannot be burrowed any longer. Refuses to stay burrowed. I do not want to be burrowed in. And they go, who's coming out fast? Who's coming out slow? Who's got a condom on? Who's got a mask on? You know, who's hiding behind? Who's shielding? Who's drafting? There's me. There's a couple of people like me. We're not inhaling or exhaling in public yet. But so what?
No, I don't breathe. I don't breathe in public. I take one deep breath in the morning, and then I leave, and when I come back, then I breathe again.
It's a little bit tough on the oxygen level, but it's so good with the peace of mind. It's a fair trade-off. That's how I'm doing.
It is a fair trade-off, even if I'm always in the midst of almost passing out. Yeah.
Universal City Walk. You know, if you have everything in the world to choose from, then, you say, we'll go to City Walk. That'll be nice. We'll get something to eat. If the rides are open and the theme parks are dropping people hundreds of feet in roller coasters, I don't know, honey. Maybe we'll get to City Walk tomorrow. I want to get on that roller coaster. But yesterday or Friday, I think it opened on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, people are like, give me City Walk. Oh, God, let me get out. Look, that guy has flip-flops on. Hello, sir. I have flip-flops, too. Are you from the land of the flip-flop? Yes, I am. What's your name? Blue Flip-Flop. I'm Blue. Come on, man. It's desperation time. It's 10,000 BC with Raquel Welch, isn't it? You're too young for that. Are you too young for that movie?
No, I know 10,000 BC, of course, Barbarella, that whole
look at him. Look at DB Frick. Look at DB Frick. He knows the... All right, I'm going to test you right now. I'm glad you said that. Over the weekend, I'm talking to a beautiful woman. Of course, I wish I was having carnal knowledge of, but we were on the phone. I was doing everything possible, flirt, seduce as best as possible, and I had to paint a picture for her. You ready for the picture I painted?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this picture.
I do not like the word rom-com. Ed Tyll does not say rom-com voluntarily. If somebody says it, but it means romantic comedy, and it makes me nauseous just to explain it. I agree. I don't like made-up bad words. If you're going to make up a word, make it about something good. Where's your new word for fellatio? They never come out with that. All right, so back to when I'm on a phone with a woman. I got thoughts running through my head. How would I ever make that happen from here on a phone? So I'm trying to get her all worked up. I'm admiring her greatly through the Bell telephone system years ago. I still got the same copper wire. And she says, well, I like a good rom-com. I'm going to have to grab the blue pill. What is she doing? Why would you say that word to me when I'm all worked up for you? What are you doing? We're having real... So I say, this is my big answer. Have you ever heard of Breakfast at Tiffany's or Barefoot in the Park?
The park, right.
Take it away. Take it away. What am I talking about? I think I've mentioned two of the greatest romantic films in the history of film, and I will stand with George Papard and Robert Redford. I will stand with Dr. Zhivago. You can throw in Omar Sharif. I got to that one.
Oh, Dr. Zhivago.
Bing,
Yeah, can't get anyone to sit down and watch Dr. Zhivago anymore.
Come on,
Yeah.
it's all sex. It's a porno movie, Dr. Zhivago, if you know how to watch it.
It is.
If you know how to watch it, all this stuff is porn. You gotta know. These people didn't have sex in their porn. They didn't have graphic exposure of sexual genitals in porn. Come on, man. It's the 1960s. Yeah. But did they have desire that they would do awful things and anything and risk their lives just to have one kiss? Would they?
Well, if you want to go really, really far back, when film first came around, it was all sex. Everything, like, it was all pornographic until they came out with the Hayes Act. Then once the Hayes Act came out, then they took all that pornographic stuff out of films.
You're such a smart guy. Such a smart guy. The Hayes Act, there was a code of decency for film.
Right.
And film
in
people,
Hollywood.
and it was film people's opinions that decided what was decent. Holy cow! What would happen now if that was? So one more time, we're going to set up a new Hayes Code. So the Hayes Code kept a lot of stuff off, but what did it do that was good for art? Every time you put resistance to art, the art gets better, richer, more.
Oh yeah, the art fights back. The art that's the natural instinct of art is to fight back anyone trying to keep it away.
All right, George
So
Papard.
yeah, of course, people just started making movies, unending movies, and now it's sort of back. Like, does the Hayes Act even count anymore? Is it even a realistic thing with the way we rate movies?
No, what do you got to do to get an X? What do you have to do to get an X? You have to have graphic genital penetration and a few beheadings, and then you'll get like an X. It's not even X. It's NC-17. I remember X. I saw it.
Midnight Cowboy. Midnight Cowboy was an X-rated film.
X. Great. I just watched it again 10 days ago, and I saw it when it came out. Amazing film. So, love movies. Can't get enough of them. They're the best. Love them.
Yeah, big fan. I'm a big fan. I've been watching a lot of movies from the 70s recently. A lot of The French Connection, The Godfather 2 and 1. A lot of these historical movies that really made a difference. And I've been thinking about how from the 70s into the 80s, how bad movies got in the 80s.
Do you know? Oh, my God, I can't believe you just did this. Do you know what the backdrop of what you just said is? What is it that drives people to the movies? Those 70s films, you mentioned French Connection. People still tell other people about the chase scene under the L.
Oh, yeah.
Right. What is that? I have a theory on why we love that, stays with us, and I just thought all of our listeners that are going back to do two things today. You got listeners going both ways. They're like, oh, my God, I can finally go to work, punch in, and get a few hours. There's them. And then there's the other people like, I've been dying to spend some money. I want to get out of here. I want to give a tip. I want to sit back from a table in public and push back and go, rrr. That was good. So that's happening, but what puts them together here in Orlando? The movies. It's all theme park Disney. It's all theme park Universal. It's, Indiana Jones. It's the Harry Potter. It's all of that works so big. Man, it gets under your skin. You still love it. You and I love the movies we loved as kids, don't we?
Yes. I would say that television and film were probably how I spent most of my childhood days, watching TV, watching films. I wasn't getting out as much as a lot of the other kids. This wasn't the safest neighborhood to hang out in.
Is that right?
That I grew up in.
Yeah, that's a big thing with a lot of families. I stay in the house. He likes movies. We keep him in there. It's not the easiest neighborhood. See, what neighborhood were you? You were a Long Island kid? What town are you growing up in when you were a kid?
I was growing up in Hempstead, which is actually the center.
Yeah.
It is the hot spot and center of Corona right now.
Right. Oof. Now, Corona has tested people, and I love laughing more than I used to. I've been tested on laughter and anger. I've been having a lot of anger, laughter swings during COVID. Are you familiar with this?
Isn't That's like the Joker. Did you see the Joker? The Joker was like that.
I am
He's
like the
just
Joker.
laughing.
Right, it's very good. I am like the Joker of talk radio. I haven't killed anybody that we know of, but it's a very interesting mix of anger and laughter, anger and laughter. So this brings us to Jerry Stiller, who does anger and yelling and Festivus, you want a piece of me? They show the outtakes of Jerry Stiller's Seinfeld episodes, and there's him challenging Elaine to a fist fight inside of a police precinct is the episode. And his line is to Elaine. He's asking Elaine straight face, do you want a piece of me? Like, do you want to fight with me so I can kick your ass? And he's so angry and good that the outtakes have the actress playing Elaine and George cannot get through it. You can't watch him yell like that without laughing. And I said, this is who this man always was when I was a kid. I always
wished that I could play out anger the way that Jerry Stiller does, the way people like Louis Black do. But Jerry Stiller would play out and just be just so loud and just throw it out there, kind of like Chris Farley would do too.
Yes.
I always wanted to be able to get a laugh from being really angry. I can't do it in the way Jerry Stiller can do that.
Oh my God, you have no idea. Has it ever happened by accident in the middle of your act, like you're going off a little bit and you get one of those applause breaks to push up the laugh, and you, oh my God, they want me, and you say they want me to do that. They're telling me to do more of that. Oh, it's a fantastic feeling. I love it.
He did so many, so much, and
you want a piece of me? Do you want a piece of me? He goes, do you want a piece of me? Do you want a piece of me? Like that. And you're watching at home and you're like, oh my God, how do you get that job? Like, how do people allow you to come in, you dress up like that, you get a mustache, you get everything you want, and they say, just go off on this line. This guy's an idiot. You're upset with him. You can't do this. You can't take him anymore. You ready? Here we go. And your job is just to do that in front of a camera for other people. My God.
He was great. And him and Ann Mira had a sketch show in the 60s. And it was on, I think, ABC, I forget what channel. But it was always very funny to see her, this woman, towering over this very, very short Jewish guy.
Right.
And they were the Nichols, they were as good as Nichols and May. There were very few comedy teams, husband-wife comedy teams, in the history of comedy. And these two made an impact in a way that no one else really did. And to have children, Amy and Ben, who have continued that in the same way, and Ben made his father famous again, essentially. I would think that it was Ben Stiller's success in the 90s with the Ben Stiller Show that helped his father get the gig on Seinfeld. I would think they would have to be connected in some way. And I love that history and trying to figure that out, and I love hearing about it. And Jerry Stiller really had so much originally from New York. I even had the opportunity to meet Jerry Stiller on one occasion at NYU at a function. And I wore an electric blue suit that night, which I would never wear today. And I met him, and my date knew him through an agent or something. So he came over to us and talked to us, but he kept on making fun of my electric blue suit 3 times throughout the night. And it's one of my favorite moments.
That's it.
I even got to meet the guy at all. It was kind of crazy, but that was like 20 years ago.
It is.
Was he 92? He died at 92?
Right.
Jeez. I didn't even count that high.
That's it. It's staggering, isn't it? And those moments, right, for us are so big. And then you realize these folks do this for people like us all the time. They meet us, they see in our eyes how excited we are, and they give you something. They know it. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I could tell. I went to Wonderama. I think I was in first grade, and we sat in a Wonderama audience, and everybody got a Felix the Cat book. And then Sonny Fox is starting to approach with the microphone. And you go, oh, my God, he's going to come over. He's going to talk. And he talks to the kid next to me. Has nothing to do with me. But I witnessed this whole thing. Kid is staring at him. The camera's getting close. And a couple of years later, I see the kid. And he goes, Sonny. I go, I was there. I saw it. I go, I didn't get anything that day. You were the star. And it stays with you your whole life. Sonny Fox talked to that kid on Wonderama. Jerry Stiller, and you can't forget the tone of voice, where you're standing. It's beautiful, isn't it? Don't you love that?
I would argue that the sitcom, now that he is dead, I believe the sitcom is dead. The sitcom's been a dying art form for a very long time. But having someone like him pass. You want to
let's talk about it for a minute. I want to commit heresy. I knew we were going to talk about this. I want to go first. You may agree with this heresy, or maybe this is so heretical nobody in show business can go along with it. Biggest mistake ever, Friends. Friends, biggest mistake ever. Would have fired. I can't stand that it polluted the airwaves. I can't stand that I have to know them, and I only know them because Seinfeld was that good. That's the only reason, and I despise that. Why don't you just bring Spinal Tap out? I brought an old clip out over the weekend of Rob Reiner talking about Spinal Tap when they were shooting it, and people thought it was a real band, and they just sucked. So that's Friends. Like, how could you pretend out of nowhere, and a coffee house, and a dumb, good-looking girl with hot, always erect nipples? Come on, man! It's like a cheap, nasty Chinese lead-painted ripoff of Seinfeld. No heresy on my part, but you hear me?
I agree. I never really liked Friends very much. I never really found it that very funny. I do like all the actors that came out of it. Matt LeBlanc, and I like them as performers. I think Matt LeBlanc is very funny.
Really?
But I never really liked Friends as a show. I won't watch it. I would never watch it in repeats. They did sort of usher in that death of it. I don't like anything that tells me when I'm supposed to laugh.
Right.
As much as I love sitcoms, that whole concept, I think, will be dead after this. I don't think that there'll be any more sitcoms where they have fake laughter, because you can't get that audience anymore either.
Listen,
you're not going to get audiences in the same
excellent
way.
Excellent point. But let's really, when you say the word sitcom, what's in the dictionary? What's the picture next to the definition? For me, honeymooners. Alice, I'm Home was not only for Alice, it was for all of America. Hurry up, the show is starting, he's home. Number one. Number two, no sound effects. That was a real door. They had real musicians playing them on and a real live audience. So that's the prototype, right? The kitchen. You don't have a lot of rooms. You don't have a whole coffee shop. You don't keep changing venues. You keep the damn thing in the kitchen. It's not about going somewhere. It's not about where you are. It's keeping it on the action. So that's go ahead. That's what bothers me.
I look at something. My favorite shows, the shows that I look to that are like, wow, this was really forward thinking, is something like It's Gary Shandling's Show, or a show like Sledgehammer, which very few people know and came out of the late 80s and was very funny and over the top and single camera. I'm more into a single camera sitcom than a multi-camera sitcom.
You know, you got to help me right now. You got to stop on that point and help me, because all the media talks as you do. I love television. I've been on television, been on network shows. I've been all over the place, been behind the scenes in L.A. Many times. Never understood why we're talking in 3 camera, 1 camera. Why are we even making that distinction, do you think? Why is it important to mention that point?
Well, I mean, we do it because Desi Arnaz started doing it on I Love Lucy. So people just thought that was a great way to capture several different reactions at the same time.
No, now I got you. That is the day that Desi does it, right? They're rich, they're influential in television, so that's a big upgrade creatively. that many more cameras, that much more direction, that many more choices, how to do punchlines, hard cuts, audio. All of that becomes possible because they went and sprung for the new technology. It's kind of like the smart cameras now they want to put in the radio studio. 4 cameras, no director, and intelligently the machine follows the conversation. So he upgrades to 3 cameras. And what does that do? Does that make her funnier? She's amazing. But does it make it funnier when there's 3 cameras, do you think?
No, I don't see how, other than you can cut away to a reaction, someone's reaction to something, like you see Lucy is crying, and then you cut to Desi reacting to that, and maybe you can do it more quickly with 2 cameras as opposed to 1. But not necessarily. I mean, they do all that stuff in movies. And,
all right.
And I think it's been, 60, 70, 80 years that the sitcom has existed.
What?
About, right? The first sitcoms were with
Burns and Allen, right? Hello, Gracie. George. Right. That was a grainy television when I was a kid. That was grainy TV. Wow.
But it was the inception of it. A show like Gary Shandling's show only exists because of that show. It was
you're dropping that name, and I'm wondering, are the kids going to... 1991, 1992, this thing burns up HBO as a parody, beautifully, seamlessly done, of The Tonight Show. Gary Shandling has passed away now.
No, we're talking about 2 different things. You're talking about the Larry Sanders Show, which is great and one of my favorite shows, but I was talking about the Gary Shandling Show, which was his
sitcom. I remember. Sure, where the girl walks in and they talk to the camera.
Yes.
Yeah,
and that's a parody of Burns and Allen.
Larry
Sanders.
Wow. So he's parody man.
I could talk about Larry Sanders for days.
Yeah, I was going to say. So he's parody.
Favorite show.
So he is parody man. He parodied Burns and Allen, one of the first great teams, husband and wife. And then he parodies The Tonight Show, which is what I was talking about on HBO with the Larry Sanders Show. Wow. Oh, this, I could do this forever. Do you watch any Blackish, Iffish, Brownish, Halfish? There's too many. There's too many. Everybody's a star. Everyone's #1 rated, and I'm a racist for not watching any of it. I realize that. But do you watch them?
I watch Blackish occasionally. Blackish is probably the only sitcom that I will catch.
What does it mean? Help me out. What are these issues trying to tell me? One guy's black and the woman's not? Or what are those titles all about? Because I guess it's a series. I don't even know, but all those words are ish, ish, ish. What are they meaning? What are those shows about?
Well, I think in the end, the title Blackish is a suggestion that in America, even if you want to fit in, and I hope I don't, I could get a lot of bad feedback for this.
Right.
But I think that it's an effort to show that black people, to be accepted,
oh my God,
have to act like white people.
I am going to throw up. I swear to God, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to go get Martin Luther King's ashes and bring them over here, and the both of us are going to get very pissed off. Wow. So that, fantastic. You know what? I'm late on a break. I love having you on. Can you stay a little bit more? Because we did so many extra things I didn't finish here. Do you have another few minutes?
Sure. Let's come back.
All right, let's do it. And plug yourself as we go away now. Before we let you go into the break, D.B. Frick is a writer, a stand-up comic, a performer, actor. You do all of it. You're a showbiz dude all the way around. Why? Why do you do all these? I love that you do. Why do you do all those things? Yeah.
Because I was afraid that I was never going to succeed at any one. So I tried to do as many
You're
as
such
possible.
a New Yorker. You're such a New Yorker. You're trying to beat the 3-card Monte game. It's only 3 cards. He can't beat me. He can't beat me, this guy. He's 83 years old. He's been doing this his whole life. He's not going to beat me. It's only 3 cards on a flat surface. So you, like many people in showbiz, you go, because there's always somebody in your family when they go, so you're doing stand-up comedy now? Like, they're like, oh, my God. I go, yeah. Oh, geez, Richard Pryor started that. Yeah. Right away, they're like, you have no shot. So you go home and you go, all right, I saw an ad. Maybe I could write a little here, do a little there. It's a very fair approach. Who knows where you could go big, and who says you can't be big in 2 different things, right?
I think so. Look at Bo Jackson.
Yeah, you're funny. You're so
reference.
funny. You and I think in the same terms. So Bo Jackson is what we think of. How old is Bo Jackson now? Doesn't he have arthritis? Isn't he sitting on a lazy boy getting one of those foam beds so he doesn't have to
Did he always have arthritis? Did he play for 1 year?
I guess. I love that guy, though. I remember when he came out, just the idea of him was enough for me. I didn't need to know the details. The fact that he was doing 2 professional sports in sequential seasons, and he was playing my 2 sports, football and baseball. That's it.
How many other people have done that?
I'm still into Michael Jordan, greatest of all time. I love all the superlative athletic performances of our lives. That to me
we could talk about that documentary.
It's another. Yeah, we could. But I'm late on this break. Let me do this, and we come back with DB Frick. I know one thing. It's DB Frick is easy to find. DB initials, then FRICK, Instagram, and everywhere. He's on TikTok. He loves all that stuff. Fantastic, because it's a reopening day. Everybody's all on edge over the weekend. Oh, my God, I can finally spend some money. Oh, my God, I'm going to go to work a little bit. Oh, I got some tips the other day. It was incredible. I spoke to a customer. I kept the mask on. I was looking both ways. No asteroids hit the planet, and I was able to walk around. Really? Did you? Yeah, I'm thinking maybe we'll get called back to work. I'm hoping they reopen the state. Where's the governor on this? Where's Disney? Where's the parking lot? Would you stop? All weekend. Are we opening up? Are we opening up? Can we go now? Can we go now? Oof. I want to open up, but, I have to say, all I care about is, can we get people food and money? Isn't this what we thrive on right now? You'll be going on the rides very shortly. The rides and all the other stuff will come. But today, please spend it. Tip your ass off. I've been tipping 25% on my drivers now. You gotta help all of it. Let's grease this engine and get some smiles back. But not the fake smiles of, no, I'm in COVID. It's all right. Fake smiles are killing me. Fake COVID smiles are killing me. Real smiles. Really went to work. Really got out of the house and tasted life the way we used to take it for granted. You are listening to the Ed Tyll Show on Florida Man Radio here in Orlando, 660 AM, 105.5 FM, in Gainesville, 104.9 FM, and we will continue.
Florida Man Radio. You have Power Radio with Justin Clark.
I left the show one Saturday and I said, hey, Pilar, what did you think of the show today?